YouTube channel, #MovieBae. I am MovieBae, and in this video, I'm going to be recapping and reviewing episode 6 of College Show Celebrity Edition. But before I get too into it, though, I would like for y'all to drop down and hit that subscribe button. Thank you. Because here on MovieBae, I do reviews, reactions, and commentary to movies and television. And if that is the type of content that you like, you might as well stick around and hit the subscribe button. And if you find yourself enjoying my commentary along the way, don't be afraid to give me a thumbs up and or drop a comment down below. It really supports your girl with the YouTube algorithm. I'm finally at 1K, so let's continue to push this channel and push this content. Also, I'm going to preface this video by stating, you might not agree with me on some things that I say. That's perfectly fine. We're human and we all have our opinions, okay? However, I prefer you voice your own opinion on the topic matter versus trying to diagnose me. That's a pet peeve of mine. Like, when people try to tell you about yourself, like, fuck out of here. Let's just reiterate. Voice your opinion on the topic matter and not on the commentator. Thank you so much. Now, we all know that this is the episode where Joseline and Amber Rose get into a physical altercation over race during class. That's what y'all came here for. But some other things happened in the in the episode. So let's go ahead and get started. So we all know that last episode ended with the rotation of the aux cord, okay? K-Way stood up for Amber and her music choices against Joseline. And Amber felt like K-Way didn't need to do that, so K-Way felt upset. Now, Iman is reflecting on what happened, and he stated that K-Way piped up for Amber. It was unnecessary. He was inserting himself in female business, okay? We then go and talk to Amber and K-Way, and Amber tells K-Way he didn't have to stick up for her. She can do that by herself, and people always play in her face. They've been playing in her face her whole life. She just deals with it. Now, it is Halloween, and whoop, whoop, if y'all ain't know, that's my birthday time, and everybody is getting into the spirit, and we all know that this is Amber's favorite time of the year. I'll get into that a little minute later. But the part that I kind of wanted to note was Parker stating that she wanted to be a slut for Halloween, and New York is like, you can do that any time of the week. Like, dress it up. Like, let's go all out. Now, the cast also states how the house has been very creepy lately, and I honestly think all of this was production. New York and Amber talk about how they're having shared nightmares, and K-Way stated that he's also been having nightmares. One night, they hear footsteps in their room, a knocking at the patio door, and even the bathroom door creeps open, and they all run out. Now, Ray J comes in and says he's going to play Ghostbusters, and he's in the room with Amber, K-Way, and New York. He starts praying, and Amber says, I don't believe in anything you just said, Ray, but I do feel safer with you here, though. Now, y'all know that Amber is atheist. She has no religious beliefs. I don't know if she's spiritual or not, but that's Amber. And she always feels the need to remind us of her lack of belief system in Christianity. I'm going to circle back to that later. So it's Halloween now. Happy birthday, MovieBae. Thank you. And everybody dresses up. Now, in my personal opinion, Amber stated that this is her favorite time of the year, and she only dressed up as Eminem. Okay, girl. But that person on the screen right there, that's Iman. My baby went all out. He was cracking me up with this mask the entire time. But it's Halloween. Yeah, turn up. We also got class, okay? So in civil rights class today, they talk about black politicians were offered funding to their public schools if they maintain segregation. And y'all, my favorite part about college, especially because I was a comm major, is having debates in class. Oh my God, I love it. So, of course, the professor opens the floor to anyone who wanted to answer. And a lot of people, a majority of the class is saying, no, I wouldn't have accepted the money. We should end segregation. Fight for our rights. La, la, la. And Joseline is the only person who said, well, I would have accepted the money because let's think about Wakanda, for instance. How that was a community of all black people and how successful they were. And I know what y'all thinking. Well, Wakanda's fake, Joseline, duh, dummy. But no, like, it's just an example. If you have all black people, look how powerful we can be. Now, like Amber and half the other class, they're stating that, well, the purpose of ending segregation is so that black people will have the same opportunity and access to the same things as white people. But if you think about it, they were going to give them money for their school. So you won't have ran down books. You'll have pre-owned books versus the brand new books. Like, it might not be the same because obviously white people don't want us to be on the same level as them. Like, let's be honest. But they were going to help you out. So I don't know, y'all. Would you have accepted the money to keep your school segregated? I want to know. I don't know if y'all have ever heard this debate or had this debate, but I ask people this question a lot, and I'm honestly split. Because I can see, obviously, why segregation was bad and why it, should have ended. But at the same time, I can't help but wonder what it would have been like with the Black Wall Street. You know what I'm saying? Like, what that could have been like just thriving in our Black community. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Drop your comment down below. What do you think about it? Now it's time for literature, Black Lit class. And they are studying Langston Hughes. And Orion reads Harlem Sweeties. Now, this poem is about different variations of Black women, the different shades, how we're built, and just different things about Black women and our characteristics. Okay, and the professor asks, well, why do y'all think Langston Hughes would write this poem? And Joseline answers, to let little Black girls know that we too are beautiful. Now, the professor mentions how, especially back in that time, how European beauty standards were prominent. And that is, of course, why Langston Hughes wrote this poem, to let us know, Black people, because we're at an HBCU, to let us know that we are still beautiful. This is when Joseline states, European beauty standards suck. And then the professor's like, oh, Joseline. And then she's like, what? We don't have any whiteys. And she turns around to look if there were any white kids in class. She literally took like a second or two to scan the room and then stated, oh, I mean, except for Amber, but she's mixed. Amber is offended. Don't know why. And she's like, well, my mom is Black. And, just making like little comments in the back. And then Joseline states how, well, I just feel like Black people are cuter than white people. And then this is when Amber gets up and leaves. Now, and the professor says, remember to respect everyone in the classroom. Okay. Now, I want to state just on this part right now, I'm not biracial. So I don't know why Amber got offended by this. I genuinely don't. Because in my pure African-American opinion, nothing was wrong with what Joseline said. Especially being at an HBCU. And she did check the room real quick to make sure no white people were in there. All she was doing was giving props to Black people and how we look. And just big up in our ethnicity. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see nothing wrong with what Joseline stated at this point right here. But Amber got up, got her things, and walked away. So note that while Amber is gone, the class continues with another Langston Hughes essay entitled The Negro Artist in the Racial Mountains. Now, this essay is about how Black people shouldn't have to tone down our Blackness in order to make mainstream art, to quote unquote be the acceptable Negro. All right. So this is all about code switching, and Langston Hughes was against doing that. We shouldn't have to appeal to the white people just to be quote unquote mainstream or acceptable to white people. Like in any class, the floor is now open for dialogue, and the professor asks people about their racial mountain. What do you have to overcome as your race in order to be accepted, quote unquote, by white people? Ray J talks about how he doesn't change his mannerisms or how he dresses when he goes into the tech meetings, because y'all know he's in the tech world with Scooty bikes and Raycons and things like that. And he stated that embracing my Blackness is actually what makes me stand out and be successful in the tech industry. Claps for you, Ray J. I appreciate that. Now, Amber comes back in class and she decides that she wants to answer this question. And I'm thinking, first off, Amber, you missed half of the lesson, so how are we going to answer the question? And then with her answer, she stated how, yet again, because we've been hearing it over and over again, she stated how she's not black enough for black people or white enough for white people. If she says something that's too black for white people, it's wrong. If she says something too white for black people, it's wrong. Now, to me, her answer was a little bit off topic. However, I guess her quote-unquote acceptable Negro goes both ways. So I guess. So after she states this is when Joseline inserts herself into this conversation. This is when Joseline inserts herself in the conversation, and she tells Amber that you give me more black than white anyways, though, Amber. And they kind of go back and forth, not heated, not argumentative yet, because Joseline actually ends up apologizing because Amber told Joseline that Joseline singled her out. Joseline did not single her out. Joseline literally turned around and scanned the entire room to make sure no white people were in the room, and then stated, oh, well, except for Amber, but she's mixed. Okay? Joseline really didn't single Amber out. If y'all watch the clip, it's on BET Plus Instagram page. Watch the clip. Joseline didn't single her out at that moment. Now they're going back and forth, and Joseline keeps stating how, well, Amber, you're black. Amber, you're black. And Amber's like, well, my dad is white too. And then, in my opinion, this is where Joseline went wrong, because Joseline kept saying, well, to me, you're black. Well, to me, since your mom's black, you're black. And Amber was stating that, well, Joseline, it doesn't matter what it is to you because it's not about you. It's about me. And I 100% agree with Amber in that moment. It's not about how you feel, Joseline. It's about how Amber feels ultimately, because Amber is the topic of the conversation. And then when Amber said it doesn't matter how Joseline feels, Joseline gets offended. She was like, well, I don't give a about how you feel, and da-da-da. And now nobody gives a F about how anybody feels. Now we're cussing and throwing F-bombs around. And of course, Joseline states, well, let's get down to the real root of the problem, Amber. The real problem is you want to be a white girl. Okay? Now, at that point of the conversation, I felt like Joseline was no longer trying to explain to Amber what her point of view was. When Joseline stated that, I felt everything personal came with that. Like, well, since I've been in the house, this is how you've been acting, this is how you've been dressing, and it's weird to me. She stated that she don't want to listen to Amber's weird music and things like that. So with that statement, Joseline was definitely trying to throw daggers at Amber based off of what has happened in the house, in my personal opinion. In Joseline's confessional, she also stated how she is Puerto Rican, so she is black in a Spanish-speaking country, and people also try to say, no, you're Spanish, no, you're black type thing. But she said that she chose from a long time ago that I'm going to identify with my African roots. I am black. So I feel like that's the deep-rooted issue between these two, because both of them are, Amber is biracial, half black, half white, and Joseline is Afro-Latina. And some people do make you choose. And Joseline thinks that since she chose to be black and be proud of her African heritage, Amber should do the same thing. But that wasn't her confessional. So this is when Amber gets up and she charges Joseline. Now, in my personal opinion, Amber was 100% wrong for getting up and running up on Joseline. Don't care. It don't matter how mad you get at somebody. You should not resort to violence. Especially in the setting that we are in. We are in college. We are in our lecture hall. That behavior is unacceptable. If you were so mad, if you really had an issue with Joseline and you wanted to put your hands on her, do so on the bus. Do so at the house. But don't do that in the middle of class. Y'all too old for that. I know y'all ain't never been to college before, but you are 35 plus. You shouldn't be acting like that. Now, I don't know why y'all thought BET was really gonna show this fight. But you know they cut immediately. So the aftermath is Amber gets separated. Joseline is held in class for the time being. New York is crying. Oh, it didn't even have to get like that. Oh my God. And then we have the professor. Now, the professor apologizes for not getting control of the class before it escalated to that point because she has never seen anything like this. One, I 100% agree. You should have separated that a long time ago, especially when y'all start throwing F-bombs around, because now y'all disrespecting my class, and both y'all need to leave. Fight in the hallway if you want to, but we ain't doing that in here, all right? She definitely should have intervened, but like she stated, she ain't never seen nothing like that because she's probably been a college professor only. She probably went to school to be a college professor. And when you are around adults, you expect them to conduct themselves like adults. Now, the professor also states how this class we're going to be having a lot of discussions. And we have to make sure that we are not personally attacking anyone, especially their identity. She also states how race is a social construct. It is made up. It's not real. It was put in place to keep us divided. And I really wish that Amber was in class for that. But Joseline too, because Joseline made a lot of, I guess, derogatory comments when it comes to white people, which Amber is part. This is now dismissed, and we follow some of the cast members around as they reflect on what happened. Iman, Orion in New York, they sit and talk about how Amber's racial mountain literally played out in front of their eyes. She was talking about how it is not being accepted by her white nor black side, especially based off the things she says and acts, and that is exactly what happened in class. Now, Iman states how Joseline was trying to big up black women, agreed, but in the process, a biracial woman got offended, and it's unfortunate that Amber was the physical aggressor in this altercation. My baby Iman's so smart. He is so smart. K-Way is disturbed by everything that happened, and even Ray J said that he's heartbroken, but both of them understood Amber's reaction because they were pushed to the edge. Now, after hearing their conversation, I became a little more empathetic to Amber's point of view because, hypothetically, setting has a lot to do with conflict. And let's just say the setting was at a PWI and I was a biracial person and my classmates were white and they were saying the same things that Joseline was saying, how white people look better than black people and black people's standards of beauty is ugly and things like that. I would probably, because me being me, I had my fist up, I would probably be really offended. But my mouthpiece would have shut all that down. I wouldn't even have to put my hands on you. But hypothetically, if it got there, I definitely would have probably put my hands on somebody, knowing the consequences are that I might be expelled. Okay? I wouldn't have done something with class. I definitely would have caught them in the hallway, though. Now it's time for the consequences, you guys. Production tells Amber that she has to stay in a hotel for the night, and she's upset. She talks about how Joseline put her hand in her face as she was trying to leave class. First off, you're lying, and this is where that white side coming out. Joseline did not put her hand in your face, and you weren't trying to leave class because last time you left class, you had all your belongings with you. This time you were trying to leave class, quote unquote, all your stuff was sitting in a chair. You wanted to run up on Joseline. Stop trying to switch the story around to make it seem like you were the victim. That's that white side coming out, Amber. And y'all can say what y'all want to say. I don't care. Now, K-Way, Amber, and Parker, lame ass. They over there talking to Amber. I don't know, y'all. Like, Parker really gave me, like, lame ass bitch vibes. Like, she was so excited and kissing Amber's ass. And I guess it's because she stuck up for all biracial people. And it just was giving like, you a lame ass bitch and you couldn't do it yourself. So now you kissing her ass because she did. And Parker just laying to me. So Joseline comes back in and she's still throwing slugs, talking about, and she fight like a white bitch too. Joseline don't care. Joseline has no filter, bro. But Iman comes in and he apologizes for K-Way for stating that K-Way was overreacting last night about the aux cord because obviously something had been brewing between Joseline and Amber, and he just wanted to apologize to K-Way because he could have also interjected if he had, noticed something. Now, Iman also goes to apologize to Joseline because he feels bad that he didn't react sooner to stop the altercation. But Joseline not fazed by that. Joseline is also sent to a hotel. On a more lighter note, we have New York and Orion. New York is trying to plan on how she's going to woo Orion. So she goes downstairs while he's cooking for them. And she's trying so hard to flirt. She's saying sexual innuendos, but he is not picking up what she is throwing down. Everybody meets in their library or their study to go over grades. And first off, they're displaying everybody's grades in front of everybody. I was like, okay. And some of these grades aren't making sense to me, like how Tiffany is failing a class when Ray J has missed way more classes than Tiffany. And despite being a drum major, how does K-Way have the lowest GPA with 2 Ds? Especially when he had group project with some of the people who are passing the same class. So if I was K-Way, I'm definitely emailing all my professors to see what's going on and what are my grades on these assignments, because it's not adding up. Episode concludes with Amber and Joseline about to go see Professor Dr. Petty, because we already know Dr. Petty said that you need to conduct yourself with a certain type of decorum when you come into this institution, and violence, fighting is 0 tolerance, not acceptable. Now, in this clip, it goes into the next week, but in this clip, you see Amber playing victim, and that's that. See, and I hate to say it, but that's that white side of you, Amber. It's giving privilege. I know that fighting isn't allowed. However, I know fighting isn't allowed, but ain't no but about it. You put your hands on that girl, knowing the consequences. You should not be excused, period. Yes, she was offending you. Okay, but you put your hands on that girl. And I'm going to let y'all know right now, if Amber and Joseline, because we know Joseline gets expelled, if Amber isn't expelled too, also as well with Joseline, I am not reviewing the rest of this season, period. And it's not about taking sides. It's about what's fair. You put your hands on that girl. That's against the policy. You need to be expelled. Period. I also forgot to mention something that I wanted to circle back to on how Amber is so vocal about Christianity and offending people when it comes to their religion. But the moment she's offended, you get to put your hands on people. Girl, bye. Thank y'all so much for tuning into my YouTube channel. Be sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoy my commentary. And don't forget, if you choose to leave a comment, please leave a comment based off of the subject matter and not the commentator. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.